What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update about Tesla and the markets. Just know that I'm not a financial planner. So as far as the market's going, don't forget that we have Jerome Powell giving a speech at 12:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The stock market gapped down and got this big rejection. We did see Tesla dip all the way down to this 418 area, but now we're starting to bounce a bit, at least for the overall market. And this could help Tesla try to get back up to about 426 very soon. If we reclaim this, I would not rule out the 430 area for a temporary bounce. But here's the thing about Tesla, and this is the warning I gave you guys in the morning. Even if Tesla bounces back up to 426 or even 430, I'm not necessarily going to turn super bullish overnight, because one problem with Tesla is that we popped to 480 and then we rejected. We popped again, rejected. We pop, reject, and if we're popping again, we rejected. So if we pop again, there's still that risk of some kind of rejection that could be coming to Tesla, especially as we have the gap over here to fill at 413 and another gap down here at 395. So you want to be very careful. Now, for the short term, the market's now starting to bounce just a bit. So right now, what happened to Tesla was we did dump upon open. We dumped quite a bit only to bounce. So we're looking for a V-shaped recovery for that 426 target. And if that holds, I would not rule out an attempt to fill this gap. We could be going back to like the 430 area. If we could break 426, I think Tesla goes a little higher for now, temporarily, but then when you look at the bigger time frames, we're still technically on a downtrend, so I would warn you to be very careful. Also, don't forget Jerome Powell's speech at 12:20 p.m. could cause some volatility, so keep that in mind. So where's Tesla going? I think 426 is very possible for now, and if we could hold above that, I would not rule out like 430. But then that's just a temporary move. I'm not saying this is going to last forever, and that could also cause us to basically reject in case we make another lower high. Now on SPY, we're bouncing. We start off with this big pullback. Now we're getting bought back up. So we have a gap to fill. We might be going for this gap fill back up to like 662. But even if we fill the gap back up to 662, we have not broken our EMAs yet. We still have these very key EMAs at 665 to 666. If we break that, we could be a lot more bullish. But even if we do push to the resistance around the 662s to fill the gap, we could still reject and see another move down if we're forming some kind of like head and shoulders. So just be very careful. Don't turn overly bullish or overly bearish. For now, we're just going to follow the trend. And I could see SPY try to fill this gap alongside the QQQ. If the triple Q loses 590, we're looking for a bigger dump, but for now we bounced near it. So we could attempt to get back up towards like 600 on the QQQ, but then like I said before, we could still reject in the low 600s near our EMAs. We could see a temporary bounce and a rejection if that ends up being the case. On the IWM, we could be looking for essentially 246 as our target, and we'll see if we turn back down or not. There's also a gap to fill at 237, so if we do go a bit higher, we could turn from there. On ES, we could be retesting 66.66. If we break that, we're looking for basically the 6,700 area next. But that's just a temporary move up. Like I said before, we're still technically making lower highs if we get a rejection. So let's see how it ends up reacting the closer we get to 66, and then eventually 6,700. On NQ, we're going to see if this could push back up to 24,800, and we'll see if it rejects or not off that. Might go a little bit higher temporarily. Even Bitcoin's bouncing, but it could be looking for 113,000. We'll see if it rejects. Tesla could be going for 426, and we'll see if it rejects off that or not. If it breaks that, we could be going for like 430. But then either way, even if we go a little bit higher by 2 to 5 points, we could still once again reject. So please be very careful. I just want to be very unbiased when I say that. Nvidia dipped back down to this double bottom level at 179. Now it's trying to rebound. We have 185 as resistance, so we could slowly push for like 183.5 then 185, and we'll see if we return back down. On Aapl is pushing right here to resistance around 248, and we'll see if it rejects. There is some temporary upside. AMD is pushing for 222. If that breaks, we're looking for 225. Keep in mind, even if we push to like 225, there's still a risk of this head and shoulders on AMD. Unless we hold above 230, we could still see this head and shoulders pan out. On Coinbase, we have 350 as our resistance. If we break that, we could be going for this gap fill towards like 356, but then we could reject and turn back down from there as we're still technically range bound. Amazon's bouncing with the double bottom. It could be looking for this gap fill attempts for like 220. Then we'll see if it rejects. Meta has a gap to fill back up to like 715. Might go from there, and then we'll see if it rejects. Google looks more bullish. We're looking for 248 as our target as long as we don't lose 244. And Microsoft is also trying to rebound. If we get back above 510, we're looking for this gap fill to like 513, and we'll see what happens after that. The VIX is also dipping. We could be dipping back down to like 19.5 or so if we continue to fall. And that could be a sign that the market wants to go higher. Maybe SPY tries to push for like 660, then eventually the gap fill above. But then even if we push to try to fill this gap, we could still see a big rejection with Jerome Powell or with some other catalyst. So as Tesla's trying to bounce here, be careful, right? This is just a temporary bounce. We're temporarily trying to push closer to 426. We'll see if we can break that or not. If we don't, look for rejection over there. But if we break it, we could be going a little bit higher on Tesla, closer to 430. But like I said before, even if we do push for 426 or 430, I would still be very careful with Tesla looking at this trend. Every time we pump, we keep rejecting, and there's still two gaps below to fill. So keep that in mind. There's still more downside risk for Tesla in the future, even if we get a temporary bounce. All right. I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good rest of your guys' days, and peace out.